Trade rumors are escalating as a new report reveals an insane Rockets trade for NBA superstar Kevin Durant, but is the price fully worth it for Ime Udoka and the Houston Rockets? Welcome in here to Rockets Digest. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you joining us. And if you're watching this for the first time, well then hit that subscribe button. We only have a little bit more for that 100 subscribers, and I want you to be a part of the biggest Rockets YouTube channel before it was at 100 subscribers. I know you do too. So go down there and hit that subscribe button. We're putting out Rockets news, rumors, everything you want about your H-Town team right here on YouTube. So hit that subscribe for updates at your fingertips. Let's get right into it here with the report talking about this trade package in which the Houston Rockets would get Kevin Durant, but the key details are who they would give up, at least what is expected of the Phoenix Suns to ask for. We first start with this quote here saying from the article that Durant is working with Phoenix Suns on finding him a new team that would take him on in a trade. Now, Bleacher Report, along with many other media outlets, believe the Rockets will be in that mix. But how in that mix will they be really depends on what the Rockets do, first of all, in the playoffs. Obviously, facing the Warriors in this first round is going to be very telling on if this team is ready for the playoffs, first of all. And second of all, ready to take on Kevin Durant and be, quote-unquote, what Shams Charania said, a Kevin Durant away, air quotes around that. The Rockets, though, they look like they are a Kevin Durant away. However, the trade package is important, and so that's where we go into the full trade details here, saying, quote, a few others could likely justify giving up some young talent and a couple of picks for presumably the last chapter of Durant's career. The Houston Rockets could build a package around Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore, and a couple of picks, end quote. Again, this all coming from Bleacher Report's Andy Bailey. So there you go. Jalen Green looks to be the guy that the Suns will ask for once Kevin Durant trade talks are initiated. The question for the Houston Rockets, Rafael, Ime Udoka, the entire organization, is it worth it? Because Kevin Durant, although he has just 1 year left on his contract, has stated that he wants to go to a contending team, which the Rockets seem to be that, the number 2 seed in the West. Obviously, they got to play the Warriors. It's a tough matchup, but they can do it. The big thing, though, you will extend him. You will get him for what, again, Andy Bailey said, his final chapter of his NBA career, which will be really cool. But is it worth it to get rid of a young superstar? And that's where I continue on in this article, saying, and this is why Green is an option for Phoenix, that it would make sense for the options to go back to the Suns, especially in a deal that also included Booker. Key words there. Everybody is saying that Green is the piece, but what this report says is that the Rockets will not accept that trade unless Booker is also included in that deal. The Rockets won't have an easy time saying goodbye to him, even if it was for Durant. However, if this report is accurate, saying that the Rockets will not deal Jalen Green unless Devin Booker is in that deal, that all of a sudden creates a load of different things. Because first of all, the Rockets are then obviously highballing the Phoenix Suns. Do I think Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore, and 3 first-round picks is worth Kevin Durant? Yeah, probably. I think that's probably a little overpay. Do you think it's worth Kevin Durant and Dillon Brooks? Well, that's where the question comes in for both sides. Because Phoenix, obviously, firing their coach, they were trying to appease at least Dylan Booker to keep him in Phoenix. He's been their guy since he was drafted. So I understand that versus. But that's kind of the interesting report now is that Jalen Green would go. However, it would have to include Dillon Brooks. Now, the Rockets, they have to see how they will compete in the playoffs before making any huge decisions. Now, obviously, the postseason is such a huge determining factor for so many different reasons. First of all, that being that Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns are working together on a trade. That has already clearly been stated. Second of all, you also have to think that Kevin Durant, he wants to be in a contender. Yes, the Rockets are a 2 seed. So, God forbid they lose to the Golden State Warriors in the round 1, 2 seed in your exit. You still are a contender. But that does not look the greatest for Kevin Durant in terms of, oh, they're ready for me. They're ready that I can go over there and we will be a competing team. Now, does he like Houston? 100%. Was this a team that he probably would have gone to at the trade deadline if things had worked out? 100%. But does that mean that he is 100% going to the Rockets? Does that mean the Rockets are the front runner? No. There are a lot of teams vying for Kevin Durant. And when you have an NBA superstar putting up NBA superstar numbers, it is worthy for a lot of packages to fly in, and the Rockets, are they willing to give the best? And that's where Jalen Green, I think, is probably one of the best players that a team will give up, especially when you look at his age, his stats, and a stat that is not on this stat sheet, games played. Jalen Green, out of all the players this year, Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, even Alperen Şengün to this point, Jalen Green has been the guy who has been there, night in, night out, playing his butt off, always fighting for his team, and for the most part, playing a very good basketball game every night as well. It's not like he's going out there and shooting 6 points 2 times, 3 times a week. No, he does that like maybe once every 2 weeks. He's getting double digits, sometimes probably mostly 20 points plus, 30 points, pretty much 3-4 times regularly a week. That is a player that is going to be a viable trade option across the NBA. You have him signed. Is it worth it to trade that and go get Kevin Durant, a 37-year-old, I know the stats are there, but a 37-year-old for a 23-year-old who you think is an NBA superstar phenom in the making? And the bigger thing that I look at in this, and something that I think is not mentioned enough, is yes, this is going to be the final chapter of Kevin Durant's career. So, at best, you trade for Kevin Durant. He's 37 years old. You get him for 3 years. That's amazing. Maybe you win a title. Maybe hopefully you get to the NBA Finals a couple of years. And then it's over. Kevin Durant leaves. Alperen Şengün's contract comes up and it's gone. Did you pay Jabari Smith Jr.? I'm truly questioning. I think, and this is a big think, Jalen Green, being a homegrown talent, being a guy who has played for the Rockets for his entire career, when his contract does end in a couple years, obviously signing the extension is great, he will want to stay in Houston. You're going to get Jalen Green for not just the next 3-4 years. You could potentially have Jalen Green for the next 10 years, till he's 33, till he is the NBA superstar. They forget how young this kid is. The big thing also is the draft pick compensation that Houston has. They obviously have Phoenix's swap in 2025. They have Phoenix's pick in 2027. And then they have a bunch of different picks that they could give up. I mean, this is a very easy trade where they could give up a first-round pick in 2027, in 2028, and in 2030. I mean, there's 3 first-round viable picks that I don't think they would really mind giving up. One of those is Phoenix to begin with. I mean, heck, if you want to go even far, you could try and push 2025 and 2027 alone and just give them those 2 first-round picks. Because you have a first-round pick in 2027 from Brooklyn. So, the picks are a big thing. And Cam Whitmore is not talked about enough in this trade. He is only 20 years old. He was a first-round pick in 2023, and he averaged 9.4 points when he played this season. Do I think that Cam Whitmore is a star in the making? I can't say that. However, the signs are there that he is growing and that he can be a really good piece to this team in however many years. So I don't think it's mentioned enough how he could be a crucial part to this Rockets rebuild that is still going on. The rebuild is still going on. Yes, the 2 seed is great. That's amazing. But we knew since Ime Udoka came in here that they wanted to rebuild over 3, 4, 5 years. That's still happening. Just because they got the 2 seed does not mean they're going to stop rebuilding. They're not going to stop putting these top picks, these top prospects in. That's not going to stop. I kind of want to wait and see how it goes. Now, Kevin Durant comes across once in a lifetime, basically, at this point for a trade. But I don't know if he's worth it. I don't think he is. If you're trading Jalen Green, I don't think he's worth it. Don't get me wrong, I think Kevin Durant is great. I think he is an NBA superstar. I think he would be fantastic for the Rockets. And I think even with trading Jalen Green, if you got Kevin Durant, and we'll stick with just Kevin Durant for this purpose, not Devin Booker, you still are a top team in the Western Conference. To my mind, even without Jalen Green and you swap him with Kevin Durant, you are the top team in the Western Conference. You are the one that is feared by OKC next season. And yet I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know if that is worth the price of Jalen Green and his superstar potential that we want to see. And the bigger thing behind this, and something that I kind of want to get your opinion on, and so let me know down in the comment section, being a homegrown talent, this team being so built from the bottom, I'd like to keep everybody intact. I'd like to keep everybody here. And obviously, there's a couple players that I could see trading off, but Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün, those three guys, I'm not comparing them to this level because they're not that good. But the Miami Heat's big three, Dwayne Wade, Bosh, James, I see them as the three that are going to be the key players. So if you can trade Jabari Smith Jr. for somebody else, great. But I think those three players, they are your big three. And you do not need to trade them, even if it's for Kevin Durant. I appreciate your time, and if you enjoyed today's video and you want more updates on the Kevin Durant trade saga, you want updates as we head into playoff season, as we get the first round coming up this Sunday, Easter Sunday, against the Golden State Warriors in the Toyota Center, well, you know where to be right here for all the updates. Hit that subscribe button, that little red button, click it. You're going to be a part of the best Rockets community here on YouTube. We'll see you next time, Rockets Nation. Peace out.